The following program is a presentation of Jez Sports. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Main Event Podcast. Today we'll be reviewing Ring of Honor Final Battle 2022. I'm Jez, joined as always by the belt collector Daniel Trudgett. How you doing?
Me, the current reigning, defending, undisputed, world, universal prediction champion.
Not sure about undisputed. I definitely dispute it.
Well, no, I'm undisputed because I got the other belt as well.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But yeah, I still dispute it.
Yeah, well, you dispute everything.
That's true. I am the dispute collector rather than
you are the
belt
disputer.
collector. Yes, indeed. But we are here for the final Ring of Honor event of 2022. The final pay-per-view produced by Tony Khan in 2022.
Yeah.
And that is Final Battle, called the flagship of Ring of Honor throughout the show. And I was like, oh,
Right.
really? Is it? I would have thought that Supercard of Honor would have been your flagship, but okay.
Is it though?
If you want to go with the generically named Final Battle as your showpiece, then massive thumbs up to you.
Go for it.
Yeah, you have at that. And in the Tony Khan tradition, it was a long old show.
Yeah.
So we should probably get right into
just
it.
Do it.
Yeah. The first in our new quarter of predictions. I know what all of the predictions were. You don't know what they were.
No.
I
can't even remember my one.
Well, there you go. I've got that written down as well. So
good.
I'll tell you as we go.
I could go back and have a look, but
yeah, that's effort. You know, we've got enough effort with all of these matches, to be quite frank about it. 0 Hour, Mascara Dorada versus Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb victorious. Both of us went for Jeff Cobb, so
good.
Very quickly, we're the ones.
We are the ones.
Or how does I can't even work out how Jay does it. Like he goes like that, doesn't he? Like
I can't remember.
he does like a side one when he's like talking, and then like you're just trying to be Triple H. Is that what you're doing? Practicing from when you're head of NXT. You know, when Shawn Michaels retires or something. I could see the Usos in that role actually.
That'd be a good role, actually.
Yeah, head of creative when they decide to hang it up. Long way away from that. Massive diversion.
Yes.
It was all right as an opening contest.
Yeah.
What did you like? What did you dislike?
As you said, it was all right. It was an opening contest. I liked when he did that dive over the top rope, but did like the corkscrew with it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just that Cobb is a brick house.
He is, isn't he? Yeah. That's one of my pros. High flying big man is the note that I've written down. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked that we started this event with non-AEW stars.
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb is definitely a Ring of Honor guy and more a New Japan guy than anything nowadays.
Yeah.
My only con really was related to commentary, and that's that they didn't acknowledge that Mascara Dorada, formerly known as Grand Metalik in WWE, that his shield was just a tribute to Liger. They failed to mention that the shield itself was a tribute to Dan
Liger.
Gokai Silver
Yeah, that one.
from Kaizoku Sentai Gokaija. That's what the shield is from, with the multiple.
Yeah, I know that bit.
Multiple things. Yeah, they didn't
If
even
you don't
mention
know,
it.
if you don't know Gokaija, then just it's Super Mega Force.
Yeah.
But that's just trash.
Yes, but when there is a Power Rangers / Super Sentai tribute on television, I expect people to recognise it. Damn it!
Yeah.
And
Like Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Yes, they
in their
truly,
white and green Rangers.
They were truly giving tributes this past couple of weeks since JDF's passing. Yeah, but yeah, opening contest did what it needed to. One apiece. Moving forwards. Next on 0 Hour, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand, which is apparently what they're going by almost exclusively now. Against the Shinobi Shadow Squad, Eli Isom and Cheeseburger. And that reaction is my only con, and it was a con for whatever the last one was. Death Before Dishonor, was it? Cheeseburger,
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. And people complain about WWE names, honestly. Like
Cheeseburger.
I will take 100 Dolph Zigglers and Michael McGillicuddies and Bron Breakers and any of that over frickin' Cheeseburger. Jesus. What did you like?
Is it bad that I'm kind of liking Cool Hand and Daddy Magic?
No, I think that is. I think that's reasonable. They're pretty stupid, but they're pretty entertaining. They're
really entertaining. It's like when what was it? One of them got their leg caught and the other one caught it, and then the other one on the ring apron just went, punch him in the face.
Yeah. No, I like their chemistry, and I never liked them as whatever they were in NXT. Forgotten when they were doing their little talk show segments and things. I'm like, you're not very entertaining. You think you're entertaining,
I can't remember them.
But you're not very entertaining. And when they started in AEW as 2.0, which is a stupid name, I wasn't a big fan either. But no, I'm enjoying all of their stupid antics now. And the mocking of the handshake or the code of honor at the beginning of the match, I thought that was highly entertaining. That was a major pro. And I think I would like to see more of Menard and Parker in the Ring of Honor tag team championship scene. Just because they're not going to go anywhere near the AEW tag team championships anytime soon, I don't think. And if there's one thing that AEW is absolutely saturated with, AEW and Ring of Honor as an entire entity, it's tag teams. They've got so many damn tag teams.
They've got so many.
So, spread the love a little bit. Let's have a bit more Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Can't believe I remember their actual names. In Ring of Honor.
I remember their names.
When that kicks off properly in 2023. Who did you pick for the win?
Did I say Cool Hand and Daddy Magic?
You did indeed, yes.
Yeah.
As did I. So we are perfect so far. Bringing up the twos. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Next up, also 0 Hour, Trish Adora, who I believe is Wizardora's cousin. Don't know if you remember Wizardora from back in the day.
No.
Doing things in her very special way. Taking on Willow Nightingale. I can't believe you don't know who Wizardora is. It's like your age. Like, my brother grew up watching it. It's an ITV program about a wizard called Wizardora, funnily enough.
I was too busy watching like Transformers and Power Rangers and that stuff.
Reasonable, but still, Wizardora's an OG, and you should put some respect on her name and have a look on YouTube later, and then you should come back and laugh at my joke. What did you like about this match?
I was very meh about this match.
I don't think I like Willow Nightingale. It's been a while now.
Yeah, I've given her a chance, but I'm very much meh.
Yeah, I suppose
it's not,
not
like I don't
liking
like.
is
It's not
strong.
like I don't like her, but it's just I'm just like meh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not liking is strong. It's not doing it for me, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I don't think that I'm really a big fan of Trish Adora either. Whoever.
No, I thought she was a bit sloppy, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I did like Trish using her rear end as a weapon to flip into the pin. That was a great way of, turning over her opponent to get the pin. That was pretty cool. It was a very even contest, really. It was back and forth for pretty much the entire thing. Momentum went back and forth quite a lot. And I suppose my only real pro is that Willow Nightingale uses the pounce, and the commentators actually did the proper pounce period from Monty Brown back in the day in Impact Wrestling. So, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was predictable, which leads us to say that we both got this one right as well. And 3's up.
I'm going to go 3D.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Perfect predictions continue. Moving on. The main event of 0 Hour. Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin taking on The Kingdom. Did you enjoy this one?
It was impressive, like flippy, jumpy, aroundy stuff, but apart from that,
I quite liked it actually.
Yeah.
The only con I've got is that there are so many great tag teams, as I've already mentioned, across both companies, and they're all hardly ever used. I don't know if they specifically brought the Kingdom in with a view that they would go back to Ring of Honor, and that's where they would really get all of their kind of showcase. But they're hardly used.
Yeah,
it's disappointing, really. My pros were just how fast Top Flight are. Like you could blink and miss them, honestly. Like, they're so damn fast. It's very impressive. And I liked all of the Darius Martin and Matt Taven jumping over the rope stuff. It was pretty decent. Good way to sell the pay-per-view. If people tuned in, then this is the kind of thing that they can probably expect. I'm not sure the others would have really convinced you to buy the pay-per-view.
No.
But, yeah. Do you remember who you predicted?
I think I predicted the Kingdom.
You did. So did I. Therefore, we both failed miserably and still on 3. but at least it was, a simultaneous cock-up.
Yes, exactly.
And those who continued to join us each week on the Main Event podcast will remember that we now submit our predictions to a third party. So there's no copying. So if we have tied, or if we have predicted the same thing, it is legit and fair and purely coincidental.
Yeah.
On to the main pay-per-view. With a reset on predictions, really, because we've just gone into that one tied.
Yeah.
Blake Christian and AR Fox, or if you're northern, R Fox.
R Fox.
Yeah, R Fox versus Dralistico and Roosh.
Dralistico, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is. It's a good name, though. Do you know who Dralistico is?
I was trying to work it out. I'm guessing he's someone I should know.
Kind of, yeah. Dralistico, I've forgotten his name, but it's Roosh's brother that he beat up and kicked out of Los Ingobernables like a month ago.
Oh.
So he's just put on a new mask.
Yeah.
And back together they go.
The thing that was confusing me is that the mask looked very much like Sin Cara's mask.
It was a very Sin Cara mask, yeah, but that's because the stylings of it are very traditional luchador.
Yeah.
That's why everybody is like, oh, it's a Rey Mysterio copy when they see any luchador, because, well, A, they're stupid, and B, because the masks are supposed to look fairly similar. They have the same kind of design. Did you enjoy this match?
I did, actually.
It was all right.
Bits, yeah. I liked the cockiness of Roosh and Drilistico, because it just works.
Just worked. Yeah. And it is about time that more was done with that stable. We finally learned, and I don't know why they didn't just come out and say this at the time, that the reason that Andrade is not with them on television at the moment is because he is injured, not because he threw his toys out of the pram. Or maybe he did throw his toys out of the pram as well, but
might have done both. You never
could
know.
have done both. Yeah, it could be a good cover, being injured, but I like having explanations for things like that. I don't really have many on either side for this, pros or cons. My pro is R Fox flying like he's nothing, like just flippy all over the place. That's pretty good. And my con, and it's a big one because I hate this stuff. It should have been a 3 count. However, Blake Christian was late getting into the ring to break up the pin, and so it was like 1, 2, 2.5. 2. It was like counting down a child that's been like, trying to get in the room. 2 3/4. 2.9. 2.975. Oh, good. He made it. He broke up the pin. It was pretty slow and atrocious. And at that point, if he can't be in position, then they lose. Like that should have been a change of winner, in my opinion. You've got to go with what's happening in the ring, and just like 1, 2. No, he's not here. Damn! Come on, man. Oh, he broke it up. Yeah, didn't like that. But
my biggest con was the ref's decision at the end.
Remind me?
Well, but whoever it was pinning Dralistico. That's fun to say when you're dyslexic. And he counted the pin, but he clearly got his shoulder up, and the ref still counted it as 3. It's like, no, he put his shoulder up right next to your face, mate.
Well, I think Roosh has been kayfabe suspended for what happened after the match, so yeah, could have been better. I don't think really it was managed very well by whoever the producer or agent for this match was. So it just didn't really come together as they had hoped. I'm displeased to announce that we both predicted the same thing, and that is the incorrect.
I can see a theme here.
The incorrect Drilistico and Roosh, so still on 3s.
Yeah.
Trace up. Next match, which I will come out and say that we did predict differently.
Oh, great.
There will be a point in this match.
I know what I predicted.
I do as well. ROH Women's Championship. Mercedes Martinez versus Athena. Who did you predict?
I predicted Martinez, didn't I?
You did. So therefore, it's not you getting a point. It's this guy getting a point. 4 Horsemen. Boom.
Great.
And as far as I'm concerned, it was fairly inevitable. What did you think of this match?
It was alright. Started off slow, I feel. Did get better towards the end, but just I don't think lived up to the hype they were trying to put behind it.
I agree with you completely. And there were several elements of this match that were very distracting, most of which, and I was, this was on at a sociable hour here in the UK, so I was watching it in my living room with my family around, and all everybody could say was, why has she got a googly eye like from Hobbycraft stuck to her
Yeah.
forehead. I'm like, yeah, maybe you should. I get the idea of putting the third eye on there. Fine,
Yeah, I
that's
get
cool.
that.
Maybe paint it on or something. But yeah, like
Yeah.
a googly eye that you've stolen from your niece's craft box or something.
Yeah. It looks rubbish.
It does. Yeah.
When it fell off, I was so happy.
Yeah. There were calls in this house to pick it up and put it back on again, but that did not happen. Yeah, considering Athena is, responsible for some really wonderful kind of costumes and things that she's made herself, I'm not sure what the googly eye was really about, to be quite honest with you.
Paint it on.
Paint it on, or, just don't is the other option. I didn't like, and this is nothing to do with any of the women in the match, but it's terrible booking to give somebody who has just turned heel a championship shot in their hometown.
Yeah.
Because you booked and built this entire contest around the idea that Athena was on a tear and that she was going to, ruin everyone, and that she wasn't very liked, and the women in the locker room don't like her anymore because of how she's been acting, and she's beating up referees. And then she was overwhelmingly well received in the arena because it was Texas. Didn't really think that through, and it's just little things like that. You could have saved this match for another time, or had a different opponent, or Athena could have done something to alienate the crowd, I think. And it came up again in the press conference, because she could not stay heel in the press conference, and she's not used to it. I don't think she's ever been heel in her career before, and I thought she was getting quite good at it, and that she was in her element a little bit. And then between not being able to have the crowd turn on you, which you should be able to have happen, and then being all happy-go-lucky in the press conference afterwards, which, okay, is not fully in character, but if you're a heel, it should be in character.
Yeah.
Look at what MJF did in the last press conference. That's how you should be acting. Look at what Roman Reigns did for the Clash of the Castle press conference. Like, if you're a heel, you stay in character and you play the heel. Yeah. Go and watch some tapes of what Paul Heyman did in the press conference after Survivor Series. That is how you play the heel. Yeah. At a press conference. Many things still to be learned by Athena, who is supposed to be a veteran.
Veteran.
Some slightly disappointing things from her. I've pretty much demolished that match, but it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
There were some sloppy moments. There were some great moments. I think the rope break that they did was pretty slick. They planned that out quite well as a way of breaking it up. But that's really my only obvious pro in this. Yeah. And pro Athena won. I got a point. And you didn't.
Yeah, all right.
Next, Shane Taylor Promotions, another terrible name, versus Swerve in Our Glory.
Yeah.
Why are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland still together?
I don't know.
Done with that. I thought we'd put that to bed. Like,
yeah, I thought they were done. You know what I mean?
Yes. And it was clearly because there's some kind of backstory between Keith Lee and Shane Taylor.
Yeah,
and they kind of touched on it a little bit over the course, but I felt like they didn't really make an effort to explain that to people.
No. All I kind of got the gist was that they were going to do a tag team championship match, and then Keith Lee just went no and disappeared into NXT, I believe.
I was going to say, I assume it's when he signed with NXT and when he left Ring of Honor, but it's either explain it or don't have this at all. You didn't
when
explain that.
Keith Lee went to NXT, was amazing, and then came up to the main roster and was called Keith Bearcat Lee.
We don't talk about Bearcat. What did you like about this match? As much as it shouldn't have happened, and it was.
I liked the tension, the whole tension, between the two teams and between Lee and Swerve. It was just tension everywhere. Cut it with a spoon.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that there is good chemistry between Lee and Swerve, but that's done now, and it should be the two of them against each other. I didn't feel like they needed to have another go after Keith Lee walked out on Swerve at whatever it was, Full Gear. I liked, though, that Swerve stole the moment with a blind tag. It's a weird dynamic, You've got a team that's both a babyface and a heel, and Swerve definitely played the heel throughout it. I liked Keith Lee catching Shane Taylor. That was a pretty wow. Yeah, moment.
That was one of mine. The fact that he actually was able to catch him.
That was incredible. Yeah. And I liked how hard they hit each other.
Yeah.
Like, it was very hard hitting this.
2 brick outhouses, shall we say.
But not even just them, like Swerve and what was the other guy's name? JD Griffey. They were doing pretty good with the kicks and the strikes as well, and that was all pretty hard hitting. So yeah, good for them. I've no idea what I wrote here. I can't read my last note, my last con. Oh yeah, the referee letting Shane Taylor Promotions double team after Swerve walked out.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Swerve walked out, it was continual, both of them in the ring, beating up on Keith Lee. And that, I'm like, are you going to send one out? Is this a tag team match, or is it just now a handicap match because one of them's booked it? Like, this is terrible officiating, terrible storytelling. What are you doing? It was very off-putting, as far as I'm concerned.
I think the referees in AEW / Ring of Honor are questionable.
We have said so before, yes, especially when it comes to trios matches and things like that, which we will get to in just a moment. No points again in this one. Both of us predicting Shane Taylor Promotions, because that would have made sense.
That was the only logical thing to think about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Swerve and Our Glory's breaking up. Something's going to happen where they, and it did happen, where Swerve walked out on Lee. And then Shane Taylor Promotions, the rubbish name, just pick up a win because they just annihilate whoever's left.
Yeah.
That
but no,
would have been
apparently, Keith Lee is a superhuman, and now Shane Taylor Promotions are buried because they can't even beat one guy with 2 of them. Yeah. Not good.
Right.
ROH 6-man tag team titles. Please, can you rename this belt trios as with your other one?
Just get rid of the trios belts.
Not a fan, Dan?
No, it's a stupid idea.
I mean, I like it as an idea, but I would like consistent naming.
If it's an idea, they need to do it properly then.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Dalton Castle and the boys against the Embassy.
I'm sorry, just Dalton Castle and the boys. They're so out there.
It is out there.
It's ridiculously funny and entertaining.
Yeah. And I like that they didn't win this and that they had now have not got the titles, because I think we need to see more of Dalton Castle in kind of the singles role. Yeah. And I hope that we do. There's talk that she's going to be kind of pushed out of the company, which would be a shame. But I quite enjoy the shtick, to be honest with you. It's a lot of fun for me. I think the big men were the real kind of highlight of this match.
Yeah.
This was a dominant showing by the Embassy, you know, especially Brian Cage. He just absolutely annihilated people. I liked a lot about that. The swinging, the swinging move into Cage's powerbomb, where they like swung him up and then powerbombed at the end. Like, that's what a trio should look like.
Yeah,
all working together to.
And that's a trios finisher that looks like it would end you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they could have just swung whoever it was and just let him go and landed. That would have been a finisher in and of itself.
Yeah,
being powerbombed afterwards is frankly unnecessary.
Imagine if that would happen to me.
Yeah, I often do, especially when you hold up the belt and rub that in my face.
I would not be living if that sort of finisher happened to me.
It's true. This is very true. Any cons or any pros to add for that matter?
Well, the pros that going to the Dalton Castle and the boys, just the noise the boys make when like just flinging themselves around the ring or getting flung around the ring. It's like a weird howling.
It's like
screechy.
A peacock.
Yeah, it's just they just do it all the time, and I just find it funny.
Yeah,
and like even if the camera's not on them, like and on like one of them, and you just hear the other one just get thrown because you know he's been thrown because you hear the noise.
Yeah,
or something like that. But a big con I've got. Toa, was it Toa?
Toa, yeah.
Yeah. Trying to pick up both boys on his shoulders.
Yes, yeah, that's my only con as well.
You know,
if you are going to cock that up, just stop. Just give it up.
Yeah.
And move on to the next spot, because the moment you then tried to like keep going at it and keep trying to pick them up, it didn't make you look any stronger. It actually made you look weaker the more you couldn't do this. So when it didn't happen like that, move on. Come back to the spot later possibly. But no, you've as a big man, you've got to nail that first time, or you've got to leave it. You've got to learn to adapt a bit better.
It's the fact that you could see whichever one it was, one of the boys,
boy 2,
like trying to get on top. You know, you could see him. It's like, this is obviously, you know, this is kind of like getting rid of all kind of make believe here.
Yeah, no, it was a truly awful spot, and it's a shame because that's my only con. Have you got any others?
No.
What a shame, because it was quite a good match.
It's a right match, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been perfect. Now, we once again differed on our predictions. You went with Castle and the boys to retain.
Yes.
I went with the Embassy to win. Therefore, it's a point for me, Dan. Takes me to 5. Leaves you on how many? 3. That's right. Boom, baby. Don't need that paper anymore. Next match. The ROH Pure Championship. Daniel Garcia against Wheeler Yuta. I'm going to say something here, and I want to know if you agree with me.
Go.
This was a candidate for match of the year, in my opinion.
I'm not so sure, but that might just be because I'm not very keen on the Pure Championship matches.
Okay, fair enough. Let me tell you why I think it was a match of the year candidate.
Okay.
I mean, obviously it was a fantastic match in general. If you ignored the Pure rules, it was fantastic in general. They hit hard. It was technical. They went back and forth. You know, you went from submission into move and back again. It was very technical, very highly wrestled, shall I say, by each of these guys. The lead into it, with the whole like pre-match fight between the Jericho Appreciation Society and Top Flight and all of that kind of stuff, I thought that was a great lead in. I felt like the build for this match is probably the best on the entire card. Like this is the most hyped match on the card in terms of what's happened before. It was kind of a rubber match, even though I don't count the ones where they were like in tag teams and things. That doesn't count, even though they tried to count it. And then when you introduce the idea of the pure championship and the rules, I think the way that Daniel Garcia really cleverly eliminated all of Wheeler Yuta's rope breaks in the early part of the match was fantastic.
That was a pro of mine.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, that's really clever.
Like, yeah, that is a match that has been planned out. It's been thought about. They've considered how are they going to do this, and not repeat what they've done previously. Like, you know, the whole idea that Wheeler Yuta doesn't use rope breaks was a thing that was very prevalent in their last match, and in this one, what were you going to do? The same thing? No, that would have been boring. So Wheeler Yuta doesn't use rope breaks, does he? We'll see. We will see about that. What if I tie him up on the rope and force the referee to take his rope break away because I am literally doing a move whilst mixed up in the ropes? I thought it was great. And I just think that the knockout ending was great. The chemistry between these two is fantastic. And it's definitely in the list for me for a match of the year. I have no cons.
Okay.
And now you.
I'm just not keen on the pure championship matches. I just don't like them.
Fair enough. Any pros or cons to kind of add, or?
Well, I had the pro of obviously what you said, the rope break and all that. But then apart from that, I was a bit like meh.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, we don't disagree on this stuff very often. I think we've pretty much, the match of the year that we've put on the list so far, and we're only, a couple of weeks away from the year-end awards here on the Main Event podcast. Well, we've each got to have a match of the year, and clearly that won't be yours.
Yeah.
I think it might also be because you did not predict the correct winner of this match.
Yeah, all right.
But you know who did? Jez 6, Dan 3. Boom! What a quarter. Let's stop the count. Let's call it now. We don't need any further events. Let's just call it right here. I have double your score. Nice.
Swivel on it.
Tag Team Championship dog collar match. FTR versus the Briscoes. Now,
boys.
I'm gonna cushion the pain for you a little bit.
Okay.
I got this one right too.
Oh, okay. So we both went with them boys.
We both went with them boys. Therefore, I got another point. Puts me on 7. But you got a point too. Then it puts you.
I'm on 4, and it's very fitting. 4 horsemen.
Yeah. So I'll let you cheer up a little bit as we come into this.
Thank you.
What a match this was.
This was amazing.
I haven't really been a massive fan of their previous matches. They've been good matches, but where people have just been raving about them, I'm like, it was fine, really. This one, I feel like I almost put it also in the match of the year candidate.
See, this would be a match of the year candidate for me.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, the floor is yours. What did you like about it?
Oh, well, just the fact that it was a big brawl, jumping off a stage, choking with a chain, pulling on the chain to throw them onto the chairs, chain using as a whip. The ref busted open. Why not?
Yeah. No, that was pretty good. Yeah.
Just everything like that. The only con I've got is failing to put the chain round his head.
Our pros and cons are identical in this match. Yeah. That is my only con as well.
It was just, you could see him trying, and it's like, you're just making it worse here, mate. You just keep trying it, and then eventually you just went like this.
Either hold it there and do the dive, or just give it up. Yeah. It's a bit like the Toa thing earlier. Like, when something doesn't work, move on. You can't dwell on these things because you've got a camera pointed at you.
Yeah.
and I don't understand how they haven't learned that in all of their years of doing this. You know, like, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The only pro I have to add really was Cash Wheeler desperately trying to get back in the ring at the end of the match, but being held back by the chain. But like, he really went all in, really trying to like get as much of his body towards the ring as he could. He was never going to make it, but the effort, it looked really good. So I was very, very into that. Moving on, because we did the predictions already. Television Championship. Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson.
So it's Juicy.
Yeah.
What do you think of Juice Robinson?
I like him better than whatever he was in NXT back in the day. Like, what was he?
Was he in NXT?
He was very, very early NXT. I feel like his name was CJ Parker. Like,
that name rings a bell.
The Moonchild. Like,
what?
Yeah. It was a weird gimmick, but it was very early NXT, like when Seth Rollins was NXT champion kind of time, like that early. Yeah. But yeah, he didn't make it. He went off to Japan and is clearly a lot better. I quite kind of like him. I don't think that in this match he was anything special, or the match was anything special.
No.
I feel like he shouldn't have lost his first match since being signed to AEW. Like, they've just announced that, you know, he's all elite and all of that. And so he comes straight in and loses his first match. Is that really the best booking? I don't know.
Don't think so.
I don't think so either. Not considering he came in with all the furore of having, you know, been a former IWGP US champion and taking Jon Moxley to the limit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And now, straight in, straight loss, clean loss to Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Yep.
Bit weird. I liked the hot start that Juice had. It was a very hot start. But then once Samoa Joe took over, then that was really it.
That was it.
But
the end.
Yeah, the end, yeah. I feel like it was a nice palate cleanser before the main event, but nothing much more, really.
No.
And points again. We both went with Samoa Joe for the win here.
Of course.
And that takes us to Jez 8, Dan 5. Very nice.
Bad.
I unfortunately don't have enough fingers to count my massive score.
What, you don't have 8 fingers?
No.
What?
I was holding a book.
Well, put the book down. That's the logic. That's a screen grab right there.
I did wonder if you'd call me on that statement, but there you go. Moving on. Main event.
Finally.
Ring of Honor World Championship. The Ocho, Chris Jericho, defending against Claudio Castagnoli. In a word for this one, Dan.
In a word? My usual word?
Well, if it was that word, I just want a single word to describe the match.
Nah.
Right. I did think you'd say that, but I did like it. I didn't like it. I felt like, and there was a lot of conversation about it in the press conference afterwards. Should the dog collar match have been the main event? You know, I don't think that this was the best match on the card.
No.
And I don't think it was ever going to be the best match on the card. I think they knew that going in. I'm personally not a fan of not having the World Championship in the main event, but I do understand the calls that perhaps another match would have been better suited.
Yes.
But also, it's Chris frickin' Jericho and Claudio Castagnoli. Like, they're definitely the main event, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess it's slightly disappointing that we didn't see more from them. It just... My major con, and it's a question... Is Claudio overusing the European uppercut?
Yes. It's like turning into the chops with Eddie Kingston.
Because I don't feel like he did very much else other than European uppercut and then, maybe a little bit of something. European uppercut. And it's like, either this move isn't working and you need to mix it up a bit, or no, that is it. It's not working. Mix it up. From a kayfabe point of view, like, it's just
yeah.
My other con is that Claudio will not have to wear a purple hat.
Yeah,
I was looking forward.
I was kind of hoping he would.
Yeah, I put a tweet out while I was watching Final Battle that I had a dream, Dan, that Chris Jericho was going to win this match. Chris Jericho was going to win this match. Claudio Castagnoli was going to have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. They were going to pair Jake Hager and Claudio up again, famously a tag team in WWE with Zeb Coulter as a manager. Yeah. And I did think that with this bucket hat on his head, standing next to Jake Hager, Claudio Castagnoli was going to have to stand in the middle of the ring, place his hand over the heart, and proudly declare, "We the Purple."
That would have been brilliant.
But it didn't happen, and it's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Failed opportunities.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why did Chris Jericho chase the commentator?
So I don't know how much like AEW you've been watching outside of the pay-per-views, but basically Chris Jericho has gone to war against ROH and has vowed to be the least honourable Ring of Honor champion ever, and he has actually Judas Effect elbowed the ring announcer. I can't remember his name, but that happened. I did think he managed to get hold of the lead commentator. I can't remember the guy's name. The blonde one with the glasses. Managed to get hold of him and punched him in the face, I think, on a rampage or something like that. So yeah, he was just being a heel and
being a heel. Oh, okay.
And chasing.
I thought there was some deep-seated rivalry between them for some reason.
There kind of is. It's because despite beating them up, Chris Jericho is still actually a pretty good Ring of Honor champion, and that's his name. Ian Riccaboni had kept saying, for somebody who wants to be the least honourable and one of the worst ROH champions ever, he's doing a pretty good job of being Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
And things like that just irked Jericho, and he chased them to be a heel and to mix it up.
Yeah. There was something else I noticed about Chris Jericho as well.
Yeah.
He's got his tattoo sleeve.
Yes.
I noticed that the top of his tattoo sleeve was rubbing off.
Really?
Yeah. If you go back, I looked at it when he came in. He's got one at the top that's like something with wings. Like it looks like a car badge or something.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones he got.
Yeah. And one half of it's rubbed off. And you can see flakes of paint where it looks like it's been painted on.
Oh.
So I was like, what the hell?
I would have to go back and look at that because it's not something I noticed, but perhaps he is in the process of having it removed or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
That does sound weird.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just a little tangent.
Yeah, and the final tangent or question for this match, it's a question that is being asked quite a lot in the wrestling world. I want to get your take on it. How do you feel about Chris Jericho or anybody tapping out to the big swing?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, your opinion is pretty much the prevailing opinion. I don't think many people liked it.
No.
I did.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
I'd say if he passed out, then I think that could have been better. but tapping out. Plus, the crowd need to learn to count.
Well, yeah,
when it's a swinging, because they counted to 30 and I counted it as 25.
Fair enough. 25 is still a lot. Like,
yeah.
If you were swung around 25 times, I pretty much think that you would tap out as well. So,
no, I'd be too busy vomiting.
But, you know, if this is actually supposed to be an offensive move and not just a bit of a laugh, then it should be a submission, in my opinion. So, I'm okay with it. Did I want Chris Jericho, of all people, to be the first person ever to tap out to this move that he's been doing for years, and that, you know, jobbers on WWE Main Event managed to, like, survive without tapping out? So the optic's not great there, but in general, I like the idea of it being a submission. Maybe it should have gone on a lot longer.
Yeah.
Maybe like 80 swings.
Yeah.
And be like, right, yeah, I'm not getting out of this. I'm going to tap before I die.
Yeah.
Perhaps they could have hammered that home and embellished it a little further.
Yeah.
Now, who did you predict?
I predicted the Ocho.
Who did I predict?
Let me guess. Claudio.
No, I went with Jericho as well.
You predicted Jericho?
Yeah. I really thought that Jericho was going to walk away with this. I didn't think that they were done with him as champion.
No.
But clearly I was wrong. And ROH belongs to Claudio Castagnoli. It brings the final score on this first opening prediction competition to Jez 8, Dan 5.
Woo.
That's the final score there.
Woo.
After 1. Now, last thing to do.
How now?
Last thing to do is to give this show a rating. So I ask you, Dan, on this day to give me a rating out of 5 big swings.
Big swings? Are we counting them like the fans? Or are we counting them like humans?
We're going to count them like, you know, people who can actually count. Yeah, otherwise you'd give like 8 out of 5 probably.
Yeah.
Or something.
So I'd say it was all right. There's a few enjoyable bits. There's a lot of meh bits, but I did quite enjoy it. Too many matches on it though. But I'm going to actually be a bit generous and give it a 3.
That's generous,
rather than my usual 2.5.
That's generous, is it? A 3?
Yeah, for me it is.
I think this is probably the best event that Tony Khan has put on this year. I think it's better than the AEW pay-per-views. And it was slightly shorter than your average AEW. You know, there was only...
Yeah, not that much.
No, okay. There were like 11 matches, was there, instead of 14. So, you know, we're getting there slowly getting there. I think, you know, considering I used the term match of the year, and you'd use the term match of the year for completely separate matches, that's potentially, you know, 2 candidates for that on the card. I think that has to rate it quite highly. There wasn't anything that was atrocious on it. There was a lot of meh, I'll give you that, but there was also a lot to like. So I am going to give it a flat 4.
All right then.
I don't think I've rated any event higher than that.
No, I don't think you have.
In the Tony Khan verse this year. I have to go back and check, but I think it's worthy of a 4. I think that's very reasonable. If the main event had been better, it could have had, you know, 4.5 or more, to be honest with you. But there were parts of it that let it down, I would say. And that is our show. But, you lucky people, we've got 2 episodes of the Main Event podcast this week. So stay tuned as we return very shortly for NXT Deadline we're about to discuss. So go grab a snack, top up your drinks, and we'll be right back with episode 2 of the week. See you shortly.
Yeah. Bye-bye.